Hare Krishna. So Krishna is helping us to understand what is Tyaga and what is Sannyasa. So Krishna quoted that this group of people say so and so things, and that group of people say so and so things. But oh Arjuna, according to me, this is what is my opinion. So that's what we saw in Shloka number 4, where he's going to speak about the three kinds of renunciation, in mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. But then this he'll be speaking only in the 7th shloka onwards, 7th to 12th. But now Krishna is elaborating more on which things or which activities or karmas should be done without fail. That is given here in shloka number 5. Yagyadana tapah karma na tyajyam karyameva tat yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. So here Krishna is saying that yajna, sacrifice, dana, charity, tapaha, austerity, karma, na tyajyam, they should not be given up. And he is stressing more by saying, karyam evatat, they must be performed. And then he says, why it should be done. Yajna, dana, tapaha, sacrifice, charity, penance, chaiva, pavanani, it purifies whom? Manishinam, even the great souls. So here Krishna is saying that these activities shouldn't be given up at any cost. Why? Because these activities actually purify a person. So here Krishna is telling us that these activities which he is describing should not be given up. Now here Krishna is not taking side of some group, but Krishna is giving his final thing, his final opinion, that this is what should be done. Here it is said, the yogi should perform acts for the advancement of human society. There are many purificatory processes for advancing a human being to spiritual life. Now see, we have to understand that in the Vedic scriptures, we have got everything to elevate our consciousness to the highest level. Gradually we can go up by following the process given in the Vedic scriptures. And such processes are called as samskaras. Now for your information, there are dasha samskaras or shodashata samskaras. Dasha samskaras means 10 samskaras. And in that, we have some subparts to it. And if we count all of that, it becomes 16. So what are those dasha samskaras? I would like to read that, from a very nice book. The first one is Vivaha Samskara. Then Vivaha means marriage, that is clear. Second one is Garbhadan Samskara. So husband and wife, before uniting, they are supposed to do some rituals which are there to prepare their consciousness. That is called as Garbhadan Samskara. Then Simanta Nayana Samskara. So this is the time when the baby is already in the womb of the mother, and baby shower basically. So where all the Vaishnavas come and they bless the mother and the child. Then we have something called as Jata Karma Samskara. So Jata Karma Samskara is like the horoscope is made and all that is done. And then Namakarna Samskara. The name is given. The name which will help us to remember the Lord. Such names are given, and that is called as naming ceremony. Then we have something called as Annaprashana Samskara. So this is a samskar where first time solid food is fed to the child. Then Chuda Karna. Chuda Karna, like the first haircut. First time, the first hairs which are there, those are removed. Then Vidyarambha Samskara, where the child will start going to school. And then we have Upanayana Samskara. This is basically for the male children, where they are given initiation or the Brahman thread that is there. And Antyeshti Samskara or Antyeshti Kriya, this is done when the person dies. Now these are the Dasha Samskara, these 10 Samskaras. Obviously in between we have some subparts to it. If we count all of that, it becomes 16. Now why is it so important? All these different samskaras are meant and which are done in such a way that the person who is undergoing the samskaras will get purified. Because a lot of things are done to uplift the consciousness of the person. And when these samskaras are done very properly, we see automatically the child grows up spiritually. Here it is said, the marriage ceremony, for example, is considered to be one of these sacrifices. It is called Vivaha Yajna. Should a sannyasi who is in the renounced order of life and who has given up his family relations encourage the marriage ceremony? The Lord here says that any sacrifice which is meant for human welfare should never be given up. Vivaha Yajna, the marriage ceremony, is meant to regulate the human mind so that it may become peaceful for spiritual advancement. See, all these different yajnas, different activities given in the Vedic scriptures are meant to satisfy, to stabilize our bodies, the physical, the subtle, especially the mind. Now say a person is unmarried, always his mind will be attracted to the opposite gender and it will not be stable. So a person who is renunciant, it's a different category altogether. But a person who has no inclination to renounce, so such a person should get married. So a person in the renounced order of life, he is restricted, he is not supposed to have any touch with any female. But then he should encourage, for common public who are the lower rung, he should encourage them to get married in proper way. So that is the Vivaha Samskara that is spoken about here. Here it is said that all prescribed sacrifices are meant for achieving the Supreme Lord, therefore in lower stages they should not be given up. So anything and everything that we have in the Vedic scriptures which aim at taking us to the higher level of Krishna consciousness, there is no question of giving that particular thing. We cannot give up that particular activity. We should do it, we should continue doing it. That's very, very important. Even as devotees, these Dasha Samskaras are very important. It has to be done. Because we are not Paramhamsas who have really achieved a very, very high consciousness level and we are directly connected to the Lord. No, we are not. So we have to make sure that these samskaras, these sacrifices should be done. But yes, the fact is that when we chant the holy names of the Lord, when we do devotional activity, that is at a very, very higher level. So our attachment and our sincerity and our mind, which is always fixed up in the devotional process, that will decide how much these rituals should be done or how much it should be avoided. So we cannot put a blanket statement saying that devotees need not do all this. No, it depends on how much the devotees are attached to the material things and how much they are attached to the spiritual things. Based on that, these different activities should be done. Here it is said that similarly charity is for the purification of heart. If charity is given to suitable persons as described previously, it leads one to advancement in spiritual life. So again, be it charity, be it sacrifice or be it austerity, when it is done in a proper way as per the Vedic scriptures, what happens? We advance. We advance on the path of bhakti. So we should continue. The sacrifice should be done. And in the age of Kali, the greatest sacrifice is Harinam Sankirtan. Charity should be given. And whom should the charity be given? It should be given to the mission of Srila Prabhupada, to the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For what? For the purpose of preaching the message of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and spreading the glories of the holy names of the Lord. Yes, austerity should be done. And that austerity which pleases Krishna. And which is that austerity? Fasting on Ekadashi. Following 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. Chanting minimum 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So all these are very blissful austerities in the age of Kali. And when we do all this, automatically we advance, and by the end of life we'll reach a stage where we'll be able to attain Krishna, go back home, back to Godhead. Now he has spoken about the activities, but what is the mood in which we are supposed to perform these activities? This particular thing Krishna is going to speak elaborately in the next shloka. So let's see that in the next video. Hare Krishna.